to our Vinyasa Flow class today. So, sort of intention or theme on offer that I've had for this week with the Equinox coming up tomorrow is to find some balance and harmony. So for this class, we're going to start off a little quicker in the beginning, but then we'll come through some pranayama at the end. So some ujjayi and samavriti, and see if we get time for some nadi shodhana. Cool, fun. All right, so with that, for something different, we're going to start in child's pose. So we're going to be here for like a minute or two, so maybe a wide kneed version feels good, or maybe arms extended, whatever feels comfy for you today. Using any props you might like. And then when you arrive in your shape, start to allow all the muscles of the body to soften and settle in. Let's take a nice and deep inhale through the nose and exhale to sigh out the mouth. Letting go of the busyness of our morning. Letting go of thoughts about all of this morning's activities and conversations. Letting go of thoughts about to-dos lists and tasks for the rest of the day. And letting go of thoughts around any expectations you may have for yourself and for your practice today. Allowing yourself to arrive here on your mat. And just noticing how you've shown up today. Notice how the body feels. Noticing the rise and fall of your breath. Can you begin to invite a deep expansion through the lower ribs on your inhale, and then allow everything to soften on your exhale. Notice the parts of your body connected to the mat and earth beneath you. And just staying here, connected to the breath. About 5 more rounds of breath. When you're ready, I'm going to start to slowly blink our eyes open if they were closed. Start to come out of our child's pose. Start to walk the hands back. Bring the knees in if they were wide, and make our way up to our tabletop. Maybe you take some sways into the hips. Some circles to release. Find our tabletop and start to move with our breath through our cat-cow. So exhale, rounding through the spine for our cat, and inhale, sit bones, chest, collarbones lift for our cow. And pairing your movement and your breath this morning as you flow between these two shapes. How does your breath feel this morning? How does this movement feel? Where can you begin to invite in a little more balance and harmony as you move and breathe? And start to add on any intuitive sways, movements. Start to awaken the body in a way that your body wants to move today. Where is there some tightness or tension that needs to be wiggled through a little bit? And then when you're ready, I'm going to come to sit back in a kneeling pose. And we're going to move through a little flow with the breath with our arms. We'll move through one together, nice and slow, and then we'll move through a couple with the breath. So I'll reach the arms up, palms meet, and then come into a twist, so the right arm's forward and left behind. And then back up to center. And then the other side. To center. And then arms come out wide as we fold forward. Arms reach behind and interlace. We'll take our humble arms. And then come back up. Reach the arms up. And palms to heart center. I will take this 2 more times with the breath. So let's inhale and reach up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold into our humble. Inhale, upper body lifts, arms reach up. And exhale, palms to heart center. Let's take that one more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold to humble. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, palms to heart center. And let's release and bring hands down to the mat, back to our tabletop. Maybe there's a tap out of the feet. Let's stretch the right leg out behind us. Ball of the foot finds the mat, pushing through the heel. We'll change sides. Back to our tabletop for a sway of the hips. Let's tuck our toes. Shift up and back to downward dog. Maybe the knees are bent to begin with. As you find length through the upper body. And then maybe you work towards tapping one heel down at a time. You start to lengthen the back of the leg. Let's take a couple of rounds of breath in stillness here. Deep inhale through the nose Maybe exhale, sigh out the mouth. One more like that. And come up onto the balls of the feet. Bend through the knees and gaze forward. Option to take little steps to walk the feet towards the hands, or maybe you jump forward, finding out Uttanasana. And just exploring this shape today. Nod or shake of the head. Arms might hang, might sway from side to side. Let's take a bend in the knees and start to slowly roll ourselves up to standing. Let's find our mountain pose. Arms by our side, length through the spine, feel the connection under the feet. And we'll take a few rounds of sun salutes to warm up a little more. Let's inhale, upward hands, and exhale, palms to heart center. Bowing to yourself. Let's slowly build. So inhale, up hands. Exhale, slow fold forward. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Right foot steps back and left into our plank. This first round will lower our knees and lower for your chaturanga. And inhale for cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And stepping right foot forward and left. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full deep fold. Inhale to rise and reach up. Exhale, heart center. Same on the left side. Inhale, upward hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot this time. And right. Knees for chaturanga. And cobra. Down dog. Left foot. And right. Halfway lift. Fold. Upward hands. Heart center. I'll add a little bit more on. Inhale. Option if you want to swan dive, if that feels better for your body. Halfway lift, maybe fingertips stay on the mat. And exhale, maybe hands are flat. And right foot steps and left. This time, option to stay on your toes, full chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And right leg can lift for a three-leg dog. Before stepping the right foot forward and left foot forward. Halfway lift. Fold. Upward hands. Heart center. Same on the left. hands. Uttanasana. Half lift. Full fold. Left. Right. Lower. Cobra or upward facing. Downward facing. Left leg on the inhale and then exhale. Right foot. Half lift to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise and reach. Exhale. Heart center. Let's do one more with some more options if you like. Upward hands. Forward fold. Half lift and fold. Option 2, jump back or step right foot back and then left with a hover. So 3 leg plank. And maybe you take your flow from here. So lower for chaturanga. And cobra. Downward facing dog. And the right just lifts straight away. And steps. And left. Half lift. Fold. Upward hands. Heart center. Left side inhale. Exhale, fold. Half lift. Fold. Left or jump. Right. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left foot rises and steps. No. Right. Halfway lift. Fold. Upward hand. Heart center. And let's pause and take a breather. Maybe hands to chest to belly. Notice how the body and mind are feeling now that we've started to move a little bit. Option 2, grab a drink if you're thirsty. And then when you're ready, let's start to blink open the eyes if they were closed and release the hands. Pause back in our mountain, focusing body and mind. We're going to take our flow to downward dog. So moving at your own time, your own pace, your own flow. If you're coming along with me, we'll inhale and exhale. Half lift and fold. Right foot will jump lower. Cobra upward facing. Downward facing and pause. Inhale, we raise the right leg for our 3-leg dog. And gaze forward between the hands. Right foot steps forward, left knee lowers. Let's take our low lunge. Maybe you adjust the distance between your feet. Maybe you like to deepen it a little. Option to interlace fingers. Maybe invite a little back bend here. left hand lowers and right lifts. Easy twist. An option to bend through the left knee and reach with the right behind to take hold of the left foot. And let's lower the foot, bring right hand over, tuck the back toe. We're going to lift ourselves up to a crescent lunge. And a warrior two. And let's finish this sun salute on this side. Hands lower, left foot steps, half lift, fold, upward hands, heart center. Speed it up a little, inhale, exhale, fold, halfway lift, and fold, left, right, take your flow. And we'll meet in downward dog. Same sequence, nice and slow. So inhale, left leg lifts. And on an exhale, we'll step it forward and find our low lunge. And right hand lowers. Now easy twist. And take a bend through the right knee. Reach behind to take hold of the foot. And then release. Tuck the back toes. Arms raised. Power through the legs as we lift up to crescent. And then warrior two. Let's finish our flow. Right foot steps, half lift. Fold. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, heart center. Let's take the same again. We'll add some more. Inhale. Exhale. Half lift. Fold. Right or jump. Take your flow. And we'll pause in our down dog. Three-leg dog, the right leg. Step it through, low lunge. An easy twist. Reach behind, take hold of the foot. Maybe you even lift the left arm. Lower both hands, tuck the back toes, crescent lunge. And warrior two. We'll take our reverse warrior. Maybe the left hand reaches behind. And extended side angle, so maybe the left hand stays behind, the right arm comes over and down, fingertips skin mat. Left arm comes forward and up and over. And then gaze down. Finish this sun salute. Left foot steps, half lift. Fold. Upward hands. Heart center. Left side. Inhale and fold. Half lift. Fold. Left. Right. Take your flow. And left leg lifts. And steps. Low lunge. Easy twist. Take hold of the right foot. Maybe the right arm reaches forward. And release both hands, tuck the toes. Crescent lunge. Warrior two. And reverse. Extended side. Finish the flow. Right foot. Half lift. Fold. Upward hand. Heart center. Okay, last one. I'll add a little bit more on the end. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Half lift. Fold. Right and left. Take your flow. And pause in down dog. And right leg raises. And steps for our low lunge. Easy twist. Reach behind to take hold of the foot. Maybe left arm reaches. And crescent lunge. Warrior two. Reverse. Maybe come up onto the ball of the right foot. And extended side. Maybe there is a bind. This time we'll make our way back to Warrior two. Trikonasana. Right leg extends, reach forward, triangle pose. And half moon pose. Bend through the front knee. Right hand finds the mat. Left leg lifts. Maybe you take hold of the ankle. And release. And then we'll just draw left foot, left hand down. Half lift. Hold. Upward hands. Heart center. Last one. Left side. Inhale. Exhale. half lift, fold. Take your flow. We'll pause in our down dog. And the left leg lifts. And steps. Low lunge. Easy twist. Take hold of the left foot. And release. And rise to crescent. Warrior two. Reverse. Extended side. Back into warrior two. Triangle pose. And half moon. And let's release. Half lift. Fold. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, palms to heart center. And pause. Come back to the breath. Sending the energy inwards. As we start to cool down, and blink open the eyes. Release the hands if they were on the body. We're going to make our way to downward dog and take a pigeon pose on either side. So check your energy levels. How does your body feel? If you feel like taking another flow to get yourself to downward dog, go for it. If you're ready to, just fold and step back. There's that option too, honouring your body. We will all meet in down dog. Option to take 3-leg dog before our pigeon, so right leg can lift, gaze forward, shift the upper body forward. So we start to bring right knee down near the right wrist. Shift the body back, working towards even through the hips. If that's pain or strain in your right knee, drawing the right foot closer to the hip. And we'll take a few moments folded forward. So maybe we're on our forearms. Maybe we stack 2 hands, 2 fists and rest the forehead. Or maybe we can reach the arms all the way forward. And the forehead comes to the mat. And take a few breaths here. So option to stay here for a few more breaths. Or if you would like to work a little deeper into your pigeon, coming into our king pigeon, and start to walk the hands back and lift the upper body up. Maybe you stay here with a leg long. Maybe you bring the right hand in front and take hold of the left ankle like we did before. Option to reach right arm forward. Option to shift the foot into the crook of the elbow. And clasp hands. And then wherever you are, starting to release. If you're still folded forward, slowly starting to lift the upper body and walk hands back. Tuck our toes and come back into our downward dog. Maybe you stretch the right leg out and give it a bit of a shake. If it feels it needs it. Mine does. And let's take that on the other side. So, 3-leg dog with the left leg lifted. As we come forward. Finding our pigeon pose on this side, placing any props underneath the left hip. Maybe forward onto forearms. Just adjusting to where you feel even today. And that's going to feel different every day. And then maybe you fold. And then either staying there a little bit longer or starting to walk the hands back and lift the upper body, either hanging out here, bending through the back knee to take hold of the foot. Then you sort of naturally end up coming onto the left hip a little bit. Maybe left arm reaches forward. Maybe this side feels completely different. And wherever you are, let's start to slowly release. So if you're lying down, lifting the upper body, walking hands back. Let's take a final down dog. Stretch and shake through the left leg. Bring knees down to the mat. And take our child's pose, just like where we started. And taking any variation of your child's pose that feels good for you today. Maybe knees are wide, maybe knees are together. Maybe the arms reach between the legs. Notice how the body and breath are feeling now compared with in the beginning. Where do you feel the expansion of the breath within the body? Where do you experience softness within the body? Where do you notice the connection? Where have you found a little bit more balance and harmony? Let's take 3 full and complete breaths here in this shape. And after your third and final breath, let's start to slowly begin to lift ourselves up and out of our child's pose. And before we come into our pranayama and shavasana, just take a moment to make a little wriggle into the body. We've got an option. If there are any other poses or shapes that are calling you, maybe an inversion pose. Maybe you are sort of ready to sit, just exploring what your body needs. The more we connect in with our bodies and respond to what it's telling us, the more we can begin to hear what our body's trying to tell us off the mat. And we can respond to our bodies rather than reacting to whatever it causes us down the track. Well, it's the aim anyway. Just taking any kind of balancing shapes, countering any poses that you have done, evening out both sides. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way up to a comfy seat. So I like to place a block or a bolster underneath the sit bones. Give myself a little bit of height and to help draw the knees down. It helps to take a bit of pressure off my hips. But if that isn't comfy for you, just taking any comfy shape that works in your body. We are going to sit here for a little bit, so take the time to find your most comfortable seated shape. Perhaps the hands rest on the knees or in the lap. Closing the eyes or lowering the gaze. Inviting some length through the spine. Softness in the jaw. And the tongue comes to sit and rest at the roof of the mouth. In our Jivha Mudra. And as you arrive, come to meet your natural breath. Start to notice that rise and fall. Perhaps you focus your awareness and attention to the lower rib space, the front and side and back of the body, so that when you inhale, it expands out in all directions. And then as you exhale, it softens and contracts the same way. So maybe you just like to stay here with the gentle rise and fall of your breath. You are most welcome to do so. I'm going to layer on a few different steps, so joining in and dropping off wherever suits you today. An invitation to bring in your Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi technique is where we invite a gentle hugging of the air to the back of the throat, a little gentle restriction of the glottis, the windpipe, which helps to slow down and lengthen the breath. Lends the breath a little texture, helps to velvety smooth out the breath, and creates a really subtle oceanic sound on both the inhale and exhale through the nose. If you find that this causes tension, or you find the breath catching in the throat, just softening off a little bit. It is our Ujjayi technique that transforms respiration or breathing or breath work and turns it to pranayama, that conscious direction of breath and energy within the body. And as you stay with this rise and fall of your ujjayi breath, can you begin to notice the length of your inhalation? Perhaps giving it a count in your mind's eye. You might say the numbers to yourself or visualize them. And after a few rounds of breath, when you've sort of landed on an even number, consistent number for your inhale, can you begin to bring your exhalation to meet and match the same count? And staying with your ujjayi inhalation and exhalation, noticing your count. As we move to our Samavriti 1 cadence, equal parts breath, 1 to 1. Equal length inhalation, equal parts exhalation. Perhaps as you sit with this rise and fall, maybe you start to notice the little gaps in between the breath, at the top of the inhalation and the bottom of the exhalation. And perhaps your count begins to extend a few breaths. And you might like to stay here with your Samavriti, equal part breath. And if you would like to come along for our Nadi Shodhana, we will bring your dominant hand to come and hover in front of the face, and bring the other hand underneath the elbow to support. And for this practice, we take in turns of occluding the nostrils. You might like to use your thumb and ring finger either side of the nostril, or maybe the index finger and middle finger rest on the forehead. And so we stay with our ujjayi breath and our Samavriti count. But I will guide us through. So after your next exhalation, let's block the right nostril and exhale. Or inhale through the left for a count of 2, 3, 4. Block the left, move to the right, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale through the right, 2, 3, 4. Block the right, exhale through the left, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4. Block the left, exhale through the right, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4. Block the right, exhale through the left, 2, 3, 4. And continue on your own time, your own rate. Staying with your ujjayi, 2 more full rounds. And after your next exhalation through the left, we'll slowly lower the hands, release the practice, let go of our ujjayi. Come to sit with our natural breath. And if you find ujjayi breath just comes back in, and that's where your body wants to go, honouring that. You may like to stay here, seated, in silence, connected to your breath. Or if you are ready for Shavasana, keep the eyes closed. And try and disturb the body as little as possible. So make your way down onto your backs. We'll be here in our final shape, and the final few minutes of our practice. I'll ring the chimes when it is time to come back. Letting go. to let go of that practice. Noticing what the mind has been doing. Noticing your awareness of your thoughts. Let's take a deep and energizing breath. And start to invite some small movement back into the body. A wiggle of toes or fingers. Perhaps a gentle roll the head from one side to the other. And taking a stretch or yawn to awaken. Perhaps a drawing of knees into the chest. Making a little rock from side to side. And rolling onto your right side for a couple of breaths. And we will eventually make our way back to a seated shape to close off our practice. Take your time to arrive. Perhaps palms meet at heart center. If you would like to come along for Om, let's completely exhale and inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Palms to third eye for compassionate thoughts. To lips, compassionate words. And heart center, compassionate intentions. And bow forward in gratitude and in honor of our practice. Thank you for sharing your practice today. May your balance and harmony be with you through the rest of today and the equinox tomorrow. Thanks.